friends, this video is for our kindergarten through 4th grade team for November week 3. And all month long we have been learning the virtue of courage, being brave enough to do what you should do even when you're afraid. And our memory verse for this month, be strong and brave. Do not be afraid. Do not lose hope. I am the Lord your God. I will be with you wherever you go, everywhere you go. Joshua 1:9. So kind of a long one this month, but lots of fun motions to help us remember it. So in week 3, we head to another very well-known story in the Old Testament from Daniel, and a time period when God's people were in captivity. Even in a foreign land that didn't worship God, Daniel was known for faithfully praying to God. And when the leaders tried to trap him and have him killed, Daniel had courage and continued to honor God in spite of what could happen to him. Unfortunately, Daniel was caught and thrown into the lion's den, but God was with Daniel and protected him by shutting the lions' mouths. So our bottom line for this week, you can do what you should because God is with you. Sometimes a kid might feel like they're the only one of their friends who's choosing to do what's right, and moments like these can take a huge amount of courage. As kids learn how Daniel trusted God and found courage to do the right thing, they'll remember that God is always with them too. God can give them the strength and courage they need to keep making the wise choice. And that's what this week is all about. Such an important lesson. I know for sure a lesson that I want my kids to hear. So I am super excited that we get to teach kiddos this lesson this week. So jumping into our leader guide, we would love for you to join us at 8:20 and 10:20 in the garage room for coffee and donuts and prayer. And then just make sure that you are to your small group area by 8:30 and 10:30 so that when kids start to roll in at 8:40 and 10:40, you are ready for them. So when kids check in, they can come in and play with toys, or this week we've got their little drawing page says draw a picture of Daniel praying in the lion's den. And then on the back always is their little devotionals that they can take home for the week. Then when service starts at 9 and 11, you can play a game called, sorry, my fingernails looking a little rough today, called Guess in 10. So down at the bottom of your cart, you've got a little stack of these pick pages. So I try to do the easier animals for the younger kids and the harder animals for the older kids. So you'll read the kids the first 2 buzzwords about the animal. So it's large and it's a mammal. And then kids can ask up to 10 yes or no questions to try to guess it. There are some sample questions that they could ask over here in case kids get stuck. And if they feel like they're super stuck, you could offer them a clue or a fact about the animal to help them guess what it is. And then everyone is just going to end with the lion, which is on the back here attached to this page because our story is about lions today. So today we're going to hear a story about hungry lions. Let's go to large group and find more. So at 10 after, kids will head across the hall to large group. When they get back from large group, we're going to do things a little bit different this week. Instead of having our snack right after large group, you're going to come back and pray. You can ask kids for prayer requests. Give them a chance to pray on their own for a minute to ask God to give them the courage to do the right thing in their own life this week. And then once they've had a moment to pray, you can close down in a prayer together. And then you're going to practice the memory verse with them, just like what I just did. You can show them how to look it up in the Bible. Go to the table of contents, find the book of Joshua, big number 1 for chapter 1, little 9 for verse 9, practice the motions. Then if you'd like, you can play a little memory verse game. Split kids into 2 teams and relay race style. Oh, I forgot to set this up over here. They will, so you'll have 2 teams. You'll dump out your beanbags at the end with the teams. One kid will run up, stop at the line with their beanbag, toss it in, and that is the hungry lion's mouth. But before they toss their beanbag, they have to say their memory verse. You can have their whole team help them. They can say it, then they can shoot their beanbag in, run back, tag the next person, and you'll keep going until one team wins. So the goal is that they want to say their memory verse before they feed the hungry lion. And then you can just close it down by this little part. This is really kind of the main key takeaway. Daniel had to make a wise choice even when there were scary consequences, and there can be scary consequences in our lives too. You might choose to ask for forgiveness and the other person isn't kind. You might choose to speak up about a bully or unkind words on the playground and your friends won't play with you. You might even tell a grown-up that you saw something online that you know isn't right, and it might end up meaning that you're not allowed to play that game. Well, the writer of this memory verse reminds us that we can be brave and strong because we know that God will never leave us, even if we're doing something that takes courage. Doing the right thing isn't always easy, but you can do what you should because God is with you. Then, to close down our service, we're just going to have a little Friendsgiving. So gather your kids around you. Ask each kid to say something that they're thankful for. And then pray together, just thanking God for all of the kids in your group, thanking them for our church, thanking God for our church, for Jesus, for the families of these kids. And then end by, we're going to have a little Friendsgiving snack. I think I'm going to get some applesauces and some other little snacks. You guys can have a little Friendsgiving. And then also on your cart, I just put some little things. If you have time at the end, you can do a little Thanksgiving trivia with the kids. You can just kind of read these out loud. I only did 1 copy per cart, so you can read them out loud. You can do a little word scramble, see if the kids can work together to unscramble any of those words. You could do a little categories. You could ask kids to come up with different things, different fall foods that start with P and I and E and an S in all those areas. You can try to list things A through Z that kids are thankful for together. You can do a this or that, have them stand or sit for Thanksgiving. And there's a little Thanksgiving word search they can help you do. Or finish the phrase, red, blank, leaf, blank, cozy, blank. I'm not even sure that I know some of those. And for the older kids, I put, there are enough where you could pass out and have kids like work in pairs. A little emoji game. Sorry, I don't have this here, but it's little emojis that spell out things for Thanksgiving. So they can do that if you've got some extra time. So that's it for this week. Just celebrating Thanksgiving. I'm so thankful for all of you. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your families this coming week. Thank you so much for serving this Sunday, and we'll see you then.